So Dennis, congratulations on winning the Tribute Award from the Football Writers Association. When you look through the list of names, some of the greatest names in football history, how do you feel?
Yeah, it's fantastic. At first I didn't realize that it was this big, but yeah, when the contact was made and did a little research and I saw the list, I thought, yeah, this is really special to be part of this list with people that meant a lot to English football. So it's great to be part of it.
And of course you won our Football Writers Association Footballer of the Year award as well. Do you remember that evening?
Yeah, it was 97-98 that season. For me, it was a special moment, of course. I won the PFA award as well. So it was a special season. And yeah, I remember that evening that I was in and out. You know, I came in, I had the award. And yeah, only when I was there I realized, okay, this is something special that probably only in England can exist, but yeah, really nice.
Looking back over your time in England, what stands out most?
Well, when I think of those 13 years, I lived 13 years here, I played 11 years. I think when I look back, yeah, it just puts a smile on my face, you know. It's just like I enjoyed every minute of everything. Had some ups and downs, a lot of ups and only a few downs, and yeah, overall, every day I had a smile on my face because I enjoyed it so much. And yeah, it's a big part of my life being a footballer, having been a footballer here, and my family, yeah, was started here in England, of course, with my 4 children. So it was, yeah, very significant time in my life.
And it's 30 years ago this year that you signed for Arsenal. What do you remember about that process? What went through your mind when you heard they were interested? They weren't one of the top teams in the country at that time, were they? So what was your thinking?
Well, my first thought was I want to move from Italy, and I had 2 seasons there. It wasn't that hopeful for the future, I thought, and I always wanted to come to England after my Italian career. And yeah, it was sooner than I had planned. So then straight away, my agent had contact with Arsenal because he knew them from the previous season when he was trying to get a player there. So he said, well, why not? Well, let's try and contact them. And we had contact, good conversation, and yeah, straight away I made up my mind to do it, to go to Arsenal, and it turned out well.
And I understand you grew up idolising Glenn Hoddle, who played for Tottenham, of course. Was that a problem for you, a little conflict there with the 2 great rivals?
Not really, but well, at the time I didn't know of the rivalry between Arsenal and Tottenham. But yeah, for me, Glenn Hoddle really stood out as a player in the English league, and that's what I really liked. But I think Tottenham was interested at the time, but again, I made up my mind after the first conversation I had over the phone with Arsenal, and that was it.
And you enjoyed playing against Tottenham. You got a few winners against them, I think, didn't you?
Yeah. Already in my first season, I got to know what it meant to the fans, of course, that this game, this rivalry, and yeah, I was part of it. So I really enjoyed those games, and as you said, I had a few goals against them, a winner as well, and yeah, it was fantastic.
And of course, soon after you arrived, Arsene Wenger arrived and transformed the fortunes of the club and to some extent the English game. Tell us about his influence, not only on Arsenal, but you as well.
Yeah, he was of course someone who had a total different philosophy about the game than what was used in England. Not only on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, you know, with players, making players realize what it is to be a professional footballer, just taking care of your body, yeah, focus on being the best you can be every day, day in, day out. Of course, my first season was a year with where I saw a lot of surprising things with alcohol, gambling, that sort of stuff. And yeah, to say it's part of the English game, I could understand at that time, but as soon as Arsene came, yeah, he changed it all around, and I think everyone, including the club, was happy with how he approached it, and yeah, it was a good choice.
And what would you say was your high point of your time at Arsenal?
Yeah, I've been asked this question before, and it's really difficult for me to mention one or two moments. I think I was very happy with the 11 years I played for Arsenal. Of course, there are moments with good goals and trophies. The Invincible season, of course. Yeah, my first season winning those 2 personal trophies. It's been very successful and very enjoyable.
And what was the most special day? Was it the DB10 day, the final day at Highbury, or was it the unveiling of the statue? I'd imagine both of those were quite emotional for you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was my final season, of course, the DB10 day, and yeah, it was great from the fans to organise that, to do that for me. That was for that season, you know, saying goodbye to Highbury, maybe saying a little bit goodbye to me as well in my last season. But the statue is, of course, something big that that will last forever, and that was probably the biggest compliment a club can give you.
And tell us about some of your teammates, because there were some great players at the time, weren't there? Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Wright, and so on.
Yeah, well, I've been lucky with a lot of players that I've played with. For example, Ian was a great help to me in my first season, just by being him. You know, he was just typical with the humour, taking the pressure off me in games, but also great character in the dressing room, which helped me realise how the English game was. Patrick is probably one of the players that could change games just by himself. You know, that's what he did in his first game. So such a strong, big play, which made a big impact on Arsenal at that time. And yeah, if you mention Thierry Henry, I mean that's for me the best player I've ever played with. I still don't know what his weakness is. It's unbelievable how good he was.
And I believe in your final season, it was also Mikel Arteta's first season in English football. You played against him at Everton. He was in the Everton team that you beat 7-0. I think you scored 1 and made 3 that day.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that game?
I think I remember the game, because it was one of those games where you're involved in a lot of attacks, and you just enjoy that. You know, you just want to receive every ball and do something with it, and it was really enjoyable. And if he played against us, I think it must have been maybe his first season in English football, or in
it was.
So for him it was the start, and for me it was the end. So
And what was better, your goal against Argentina in '98 for the Netherlands, or the one against Newcastle for Arsenal?
Well, they're both good goals. I think the one against Argentina is, of course, the one that stands out for me. Not only because it was scored at the highest stage for me, but also technically it's something that you learn to do in your career. Just practice all the time and do those sort of stuff. Controlling the ball, finishing. It's very satisfying if you can do things that come up in your mind. The Newcastle goal was more of a reaction to not so good ball, to be honest.
Okay, and you still follow Arsenal's fortunes, of course. What do you think the prospects are this season? Are they in line to win something? Do you hope they can win a trophy?
Yes, I do. I do hope that they can win something. They've been close, of course, for a few years now. Hopefully they can find something extra. I feel it's a little bit, in a stable position, but hopefully some players or who will come, or the players who are there can make something out of it. You know, a little bit more quality and belief than, who knows.
And I understand your father named you after Dennis Law, who was one of his great idols, and sadly this weekend Dennis passed away. Do you have any memories of stories about Dennis Law? What a great player he was.
I heard the stories, of course. Didn't see a lot of footage, to be honest. But what I understand, he was a great character, great person, great player, and I think my dad was right to name me after him.
Mm-hmm. And I understand you finished coaching now, but If one day in the future a club like Arsenal were to ask you to be involved, could they tempt you back?
Well, I think I'm at a stage of my life now that I've got more freedom. The kids are all grown up. Spent a lot of time with them over the last few years. But if something comes along that's interesting for me, then I'm sure I want to do something again. Yeah.
Fantastic, Dennis. Thanks for your time and
Thank you.
enjoy your evening.
Thanks.